Welcome to the show. A lot to talk about today. The Diddy trial is starting. We have some new footage of President Trump, as well as the fact that there's footage that has been released, has been circulating on the internet, showing a Diddy altercation, a party in which a young woman got assaulted. You can see people running. We're going to go ahead and put that up right now. So this is footage from inside a Diddy party. You rarely see that. Most of it is in private hands in Diddy's computer system or deleted. But in this footage, you can see everyone at the party. It's relatively hectic. People are running around, wondering what's happening. And in this, a man assaulted a young woman. There is Diddy right there in the tan jacket, talking to someone else, also a celebrity. I'm not sure who that is off the top of my head, but you may know who that is. It looks kind of like a rapper. There's everyone running. And so this is footage that is extremely...
Somebody pulled a fire alarm?
Somebody pulled the fire alarm afterwards, yeah. So this just gives you an inside look. Because right now, so we have, the jurors have been selected. 8 of them are men, 4 of them are women in the Diddy case. And here's a look inside what it was like at the party, where there was likely underage girls, where we know there was drug abuse, there were problems, there were rapes, forced interactions, prostitutes. Everything you can imagine under the sun pretty much happened at these parties. And there's a look inside it at one of the incidents that is going to be undoubtedly looked over in this trial.
That's a pretty good coffee machine too. Did you see that coffee machine at the very end?
It's a serious caffeine right there. That's how Diddy does his 72-hour freak offs. He needs to stay hydrated.
Okay, it's not fun. It's not funny. Okay, it's not funny. He actually should go to jail for a long time.
For the rest of his life.
I mean, he had his girlfriend. I don't even know if you call it a girlfriend, that he was dragging through the
Cassie
hallway.
Ventura.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that footage is crazy. Do we want to play that? Because people have already seen it, but we can play it again.
Do we have it?
We do have it.
Yeah. Do we have? Yeah. Play that footage. So this is, the significance of this is that just like Jeffrey Epstein, P. Diddy rose to significance how?
Hollywood.
No, he rose to significance because of the death of Biggie Smalls.
Interesting.
Remember? Every step you take.
I'm a little young for the whole Biggie Smalls stuff.
So listen, this was the prime of my life, like when I was young, right? And I remember seeing Tupac in concert. There he is right now, running down his towel.
Yeah, and there's Cassie, who by the way, so Cassie's portrayed in this video, rightfully so, as a victim. She's being abused. She's being beat up.
She just got knocked out.
Yeah, by a strong man, as a weak woman. I mean, relatively, she's a woman versus a man. There's not a competition there. And so he's beating her, hurting her. But one thing we do need to point out is, even though she was undoubtedly a victim of Diddy, there's also the possibility that she could be, like Ghislaine Maxwell, charged with facilitating some of this. So we can't totally make her the victim in this case, because she may have been responsible for bringing some of the women on. She clearly is not totally innocent. Now, whether or not her victimization and the fact that he forced her to and put her on drugs and stuff, maybe that's her argument, and maybe she does deserve to walk free as a result. But I think it needs to be looked into. I think it's an important factor in this case, just like with Ghislaine Maxwell.
But here's my problem with Diddy. This is what's wrong with society. He should have been ostracized from the beginning. And by the way, this is the hotel showing up. Assistant security at the time, Israel Flores, tried to intervene. She tries telling him, hey, this is what happened. And then he said, all right, let me give you $100.
Yep.
Gives him $100, have him disappear. He could see the hotel footage. I mean, but this is what's wrong with society. This is. You know what I want to do? I want to make men again.
Yep. That's not a man on that screen. That is.
I want to beat the brakes off of P. Diddy in a nonviolent way.
In a nonviolent. Just like.
I said the brakes. He has the wheels, brakes.
Go to his vehicle and like hit it with a sledgehammer until the brakes come off. Is that what you're referring to?
Kinda.
Yeah, he deserves to have the brakes beat off of him non-violently, of course.
I mean, listen, it is unconscionable that this right here did not result in Apple kicking P. Diddy's music off of the channel, of shelves not being pulled for his alcohol. He sells vodka. He has a whole line of vodka. You know, they canceled Mike Lindell, right?
Yep.
They canceled him because he stood up for election fraud in our country. But we can't cancel a guy that beats women in a hallway?
And they knew about all this. And he's allowed to have his music on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. But if you make a song about a certain Austrian painter from, a few decades back, I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. Then you get banned. if you're Kanye West, and you get,
that's kind of funny.
That's a little funny, right? But no, it's actually disgusting. And we see Lil Nas X with the devil horns literally participating in the gay orgy, and he's allowed to have that song on YouTube and on all of the major platforms. But there's certain things you can't talk about. It's very interesting where they draw the line.
Where do they draw the line, though? Look,
Oscar
we're going to talk about that and so much more.
Yep.
Stay tuned. We got more to show you here today on Untamed.
Take two. Cut.
Take two.
Cut.
I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people. All right, follow me with this.
But they've been using their power to obstruct and stop justice from taking place.
You want to pray us out?
I do.
We'll pray for Tina. And let's have conversations about what truth is. Okay, so we had to crack a few jokes about P. Diddy.
But it is serious, though.
It is serious.
And we'll crack more jokes, by the way.
We have to.
We have to. No more choice.
Humor is the one thing that will stop you from wanting to hurt somebody.
Right? Well, I still want to hurt him. But
I still want to hurt him too. But it does beg that we should be asking the question, why is it that the media themselves, they can do whatever they can to slander with impunity those that are standing up for truth, go after Trump, say all the stuff they said about Trump. But he said words. He said, grab him by the Gatuchis. so we don't get banned on YouTube.
Yeah.
Grab him by the Gatuchis. And they made him out to be the biggest misogynist out there. He's got a beautiful wife. His children are beautiful. His family, they're not drug addicted. President Trump has been an amazing example. Okay, so he likes beautiful women. He's been married several times.
He has, yep.
But the reality of it is that he has good fruit that comes from his tree.
The genetic line there is not too shabby with the 6'9" Baron Trump, who is also apparently a genius according to some accounts. It'll be cool, by the way, once he starts going on shows, which I'm sure he will at some point soon. It'll be cool to have him on. I would love to talk to Baron.
Jeff just said Diddy should be tried by a jury of his queers.
That's the best comment I've ever read.
Jeff, you need to repent. Repent. I say it now to you, Jeff. Repent.
That's awesome. A jury of his queers. That's perfect.
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how they're going to explain the two pallets of baby oil.
1,000 bottles. What is it? Did you know by the way, one of the allegations that Cassie Ventura brought forward is that he made her go naked in a bathtub full of baby oil.
No.
Yeah.
That's not a real thing.
That's a real thing. That's what she says. She says Diddy had her go naked in a bathtub full of baby. So like literally inundated in baby oil.
It doesn't
even make any sense.
Okay, so have you heard the song about a Diddy party?
Which one?
Apollo.
There's a lot.
No. I got Diddy'd at a Diddy party. Have you heard that one, Apollo?
No. I actually haven't.
Yeah, so let me find it real quick. This might be pertinent because Diddy.
Yep. And by the way, I'm posting right now the link to the show on X. So if you want to help to share it, you can do so by clicking the share button. You can do so by going to X and retweeting, by following us, Joe Oltmann on X, following myself on X. Even though Joe needs a lot more help in the FAR department.
Hey,
on
I
X
got
than me.
canceled.
Yeah, he got
You've never
banned.
been canceled.
That's actually true. I don't know how. I timed it perfectly because I started growing when it was a Dogecoin phenomena on my X. That's how I got my first followers. And then Elon Musk bought it. And then I started saying controversial stuff. So if I had been me now, before that, I would have gotten banned almost immediately. I don't even think I would have made it to 100K. So good. I'm glad Elon bought it. By the way, this is the #1 show on the internet when it comes to how fast it is growing. Everyone
It
is
is growing
sharing.
very quickly.
Everyone's joining in every single day at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We have all of the information. The amount of research that we do, that our team does, is unbelievable. We put so much time and effort into this. So we need you to come and support and join, be part of the brotherhood as we continue to fight back against the evil people in this world, the elites, the politicians, the riggers. We hate the riggers, right?
Can we have a little fun with this? Yes, we do hate the
Yeah,
riggers.
I think, yeah, I definitely think, I'm not a fan of riggers.
No.
Oh no, what is this?
He's never heard it. You haven't
We're
heard
in
it either, Apollo? You haven't heard it? Apollo. Yeah. Okay,
Those
so
damn riggers.
I don't. You haven't? Okay, so just so you know, this is going to be really funny, and we're going to get copy struck on
Oh,
this
no.
for sure. Maybe, but it's called "Diddled at Diddy's." All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun in the middle of this, and this is describing a party that this gentleman went to, because it's not just he has a. I don't. Do you think Cassie was a cover?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who've never heard this is by what's it called? Beats? Shit. Biscuit Beats.
Biscuit Beats. Okay.
All right. I promise you that you're actually going to like the beat. This could be a real song. If it was not, if you weren't actually singing about being diddled at a Diddy party, it's got a great beat.
This may be my new theme song after I hear it. Just a heads up.
It is, for those of you who are listening, I'm telling you right now, it was a good song. It was so good that I was playing it for my wife, and she's like, I don't even know why I like the beat, but I like the beat. But I hate what it says. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that somebody would do that to someone. And I was like, that was P. Diddy. But listen to the words. It is funny. Can we have just a little bit of humor in the middle of this without you getting mad at me? And he talks about remote controls and.
Oh God. Oh no.
Ready? Ready?
I've never been more ready.
All right. Parental warning. It does have explicit lyrics.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Just don't put the kids here. No kids. And it is. Yeah, there we go. All right, ready? Let's play it. This is a commentary on this, so don't strike us. This is us being critical of this particular song.
Indeed.
All right.
I went to a party all dressed in white. Yeah, Diddy had a party at his house tonight. They handed me a bottle, but it didn't taste right. Next thing I know, I'm fighting for my life. I got diddled at Diddy's. They took me down, used me up and passed me around. They got all
I told you it's good beat. Shouldn't know the words, but I do, because I kind of like the song.
It's almost as good as Ye's most recent song. It's almost as catchy.
This mess, and I can't escape. Tried to run, but the floor was too damn slick. Puff Daddy's grin was making me sick. The doors were
Turn it up
locked,
just a little bit. I don't think
I
you can
couldn't break free. They oiled the walls, even the damn TV. I got diddled at Diddy's and lost my your boy P. Diddy.
I shouldn't like it, but the beat is.
It reminds me of that one
Camera
song
pans
where it's
halfway
the guy in the
down,
truck and he's singing like super country song. And he's making a gay joke in the song. It reminds me of that a little bit.
Should've never walked through that damn door. Now I know what Diddy parties are for. I got diddled at Diddy's and lost my pants, slipping and sliding. I didn't stand a chance, just wanted some booze and to hit the old gritty, but I ended up
All right, we can pull it
getting
down.
wrecked by your boy P. Diddy.
There's a few lines, a few more catchy lines that could have added in. It's not bad though. I'll give it like a 7 out of 10.
You have to admit though, it is funny that they're actually making fun of P. Diddy. He tried to sue over that deal, by the way.
That song?
Yeah, it's not true.
That's
The
wow.
baby, which part? You want to say which part? Of
Yeah, which
the
part's
baby
not true?
oil, too slick, the remote control. How? Which one?
That's crazy. I mean, you'd be shocked at the level of depravity in some of these
Yeah.
YouTube songs. We used to listen in when we were in high school to some of these songs that would come out, and let me just say, there's one you may have heard of it that starts with the word vigorously, and I don't think you want to know the rest. But if
All right, so let me approach some of the comments here. Say nothing, not laughing here. Let me tell you what. There's only 2 ways to react to things that are bad. Okay, I've laughed about people coming to my house with guns. Apollo, what's the other alternative to that?
You get defeated and let it consume you.
And then becomes anger. And what happens when you get angry? Right?
Yeah, what did you get? What's I can't see the comment. What's his name?
I don't know. They said they're not laughing. I don't want you.
Well,
I want you to laugh at the deal. I want you.
Let me look directly in the camera, directly at you. Did you get diddled? Why don't you show me on the doll where Diddy diddled you? Is that what happened?
No, it's not. What I'm saying is that people are saying that it doesn't. It's not funny. Listen,
it's definitely we've had some fun jokes on the show for sure.
We have to laugh about things that we have to laugh about. We have to. You have to laugh. It doesn't mean we don't seek accountability, but if we don't laugh at the fact that somebody is out there making a song about what P. Diddy did,
Yeah.
then what are we doing? Are we gonna if we stay at a 10, the intensity of a 10 all day, every day, I promise you, you will have a heart attack. You will die. You will not survive it.
And you'll have a miserable existence. That is true. But I don't even care to defend it. If it's funny, it's funny. If it's not, it's not. Obviously, getting abused isn't funny.
No.
But a lot of the stuff we've done in this show is funny, and
is
I don't care at all. Look, it's if you think that takes away from the credibility of the journalism, then that's on you. It definitely doesn't. We're reporting on both the facts and also the funny parts of this at the same time, unashamed. But let me read through this. So I want to show you something. So here's one of the more disturbing parts, and this part isn't funny. Okay, well, maybe we'll find a way to make it funny, but it's on its own not funny. So take a look at this. So I put together this list. This shows all of the people who have been suing Diddy since the 1990s. It's a very long list. So I'm just going to read through a couple of these, and if it starts getting boring, I'll stop. But the reason why I'm doing this is to give you an example and to demonstrate how long this has been going on for number one, and number two, how long the government has done nothing about it. So we start with Lisa Gardner in 1991, claimed Combs took turns raping her with a friend they met at MCA Records event. Initially filed her lawsuit anonymously. Then there's Joy Dickerson Neal, drugged, assaulted, and this one's important. She says he recorded it on videotape. This is in 1991, and then sent it to many others in the music industry, meaning they had that tape, it was available, and did nothing about it. Most likely, not confirmed. We don't have footage of it. They probably deleted it.
No, this is in a trial transcript.
This will be.
So this is not. We're not making it up.
This is real. These are all. And then so there's Jane Doe's. There's 3 Jane Doe's in a row: 1991, 1993, 1995. So basically, every single year he's had a lawsuit against him, pretty much since the 1990s, with a couple exceptions of some years. So this one was 16 years old when she auditioned to be a backup dancer for Combs, and filed the lawsuit saying she was drugged. He assaulted her. Then this one, a woman who said she was beaten and raped at a party in New York for the Biggie Smalls video. Australia Benitez, 20-year-old New York University student, April Lampros, alleged that he raped her on multiple occasions over 5 years. Now, some of these, of course, are going to be fake, trying to get money out of it. But a lot of, I mean, when you have 40, and I can just keep going. John Doe, 1998. Another John Doe, 1999. Justin Gooch, This Is a Man, 1999. Leslie Cockrell, 1999. We go into the 2000s. Jane Doe, Sarah Rivers, 2004. Theo Graves, 2001. It'll be boring if I read it all. But it just keeps, you can see on.
Then 17,
Yeah.
Anna Kane, 2003.
17. Yep. So some of these under 18 when it started. And so as you look down this list, you see a clear pattern of abuse, many similar stories, many of them saying there's footage of it, importantly, which that footage needs to be brought to the surface.
Look at this. Anna Kane says, then 17-year-old who alleged Combs, former Bad Boy Entertainment president, Harve Pierre, and an unidentified third assailant gang raped her at Combs' daddy's house record studio. They then filed her 2023 lawsuit anonymously. She later identified herself in the case after a judge ruled she must reveal her identity. Imagine a judge saying you have to reveal your identity so that you can go after a billionaire who has made a living off of this, off of raping women.
It's disgusting.
And the fact that there are people that are standing up for him.
Yeah.
There are
A lot of
people that,
people.
Oprah.
Yep.
Oprah, standing up for him.
Well, she participated in it, allegedly. I mean, we have evidence of some of the things she's done. She is bisexual by multiple reports, and has allegedly taken advantage of multiple individuals under the age of 18. That's one of the reasons of why people speculate she purchased all of this land in Hawaii, where she has compounds and privacy and can participate in some of these things in a way where no one can access it. She never had kids. She's not married. And just that alone, I mean, everyone who has any sort of normalcy within their life wants to start a family, wants to do that, and she didn't. And why didn't she? Well, most likely because she was participating in other things that she found more fulfilling, at least at the time. And it's never the most fulfilling path long term, but for her, that's what she chose.
But she had a lot of evidence too.
On overwhelming.
And here's what people are saying in some of the comments right now. That, why didn't somebody step in? Why didn't somebody say or do something?
Exactly.
And
for 30 years. How has no one done anything for 30 years? Where have all of the government officials who are supposed to be helping these victims, where have they been all this time?
Okay, so I want to show you something. Because this goes right along with the P. Diddy issue. Could you be in the same room as someone getting gang raped?
No. Not without doing something about it.
You couldn't. So we don't qualify for their little group. They mature people through a process where evil pronounces itself and surrounds itself with evil, which is why we have this cancer in our government and our society. That's why you have Macron with a bunch of people that are doing cocaine in the middle of a room as world leaders, because they've created a fraternity of really bad people. And we sit back and have to put up with it. Same with the guys in the black robes. We need a black robe regiment is what we need. We need to hold people accountable. I'm not going to tell you what that means. You go look it up yourself. But we need to have that. But if you could not be in the room with that, imagine this. There was I think it was in France. I'm not sure. But this is in France. Yeah, this is in France. This is a guy that walks up. They're walking their child, a baby. They're walking their baby in the park. And a migrant that is obviously not French comes up and does something. I want you guys to see this.
Or Muslim?
I want you to see this.
Okay.
Who knows? Let's take a look at it.
I haven't seen this yet. Oh, that's crazy. I'm looking.
No?
I see it on the small screen there.
Yeah.
Are we pulling it up on the big screen? There it is.
Wesh. Ouais. Mais ça va pas? Allez-vous-en.
Puta mal parida. La próxima la van a cara.
All right, play it one more
Mais il est
time from the
malade.
beginning. Play it one more time from the beginning.
Wesh.
Oh
Ouais.
my God.
Mais ça va pas?
Hit a baby.
Allez-vous-en.
Puta mal parida. La
Okay.
próxima la van a cara.
Mais il est malade.
So let me tell you, I look at your face. Matt is visibly wanting to jump through the screen. He has 3 kids. That could have been your baby girl. Now, the reason why I bring this up for everyone,
That guy wouldn't have a face anymore if he did that to my
he'd
baby.
be drinking through a straw. But my point is, what did the guy do? I would have handed the baby off to the woman.
Well, he was older, to be fair. He was like 70.
I don't care.
I don't know. I don't know if he would have had a good chance if he tried.
Who
to do that.
cares?
I mean, that's what makes it even worse. This guy's picking on a 70-year-old, a baby, and a woman.
I don't think the guy's 70. He's probably 50, right? But he's not 70.
Maybe 50. Yeah. Well, he's a weak man. He's not. He doesn't have the strength.
So
it's not his fault.
This is my problem.
Yeah.
Like we literally are raising men to say, "Oh, let's just call the police. Let's call." And you have animals out there that are doing stuff, and we don't take care of our own. You all three of them, the two women and the dude, should have jumped on his back, put the baby down, let the baby scream as you beat the brakes off this guy.
Well, no, that's not what should have happened. What should have happened is everyone else at the park should have come and done that. Don't make the woman and the man and the old man do it. Everyone else needs to step in and do it. Everyone who's physically able, because he could have a knife, he could have a gun. You don't know. Everyone else needs to. Everyone needs to. It needs to be a group effort. There's other people at the park probably watching. Who was filming that? The guy filming it probably.
It was a woman. It was a woman
filming it. Okay.
Yeah. But my point is that we've become what has happened in over there is happening here. I mean, we're literally allowing P. Diddy's to exist everywhere.
Yep.
And we're not allowed to talk about trafficking of children without someone coming up and saying, "Oh, he was MS-13, but he was the good MS-13. Oh, he was a skinhead, but he was the non-racist skinhead. Oh, he was a drug addict, but we have to feel bad for him because he was a drug addict." No, I don't. No, I don't. And I don't have to tolerate it either.
Absolutely not. Especially when we have these Muslim and African migrants, especially that are coming over to Europe. In our case, fortunately, a lot of the migrants, I mean, there is the gang members. There are a lot of bad people come from South America. But South America is largely a Christian place. It's largely people who share our values, at least more than 30% of them. And so that's one thing. When it comes to what's happening in Europe, most of those people are so far into the society that they're joining that they don't even care at all about it. They would rather punch a baby in the face than integrate into society. They'd rather go to prison and live off of the system and take advantage of the systems that are in place than try to contribute. And that's so unbelievably harmful and damaging that it's already destroyed the culture there. It's already changed Britain. It's now no longer even the same place, especially in the big cities. It's gone. It is a shell of what it was.
I just want to make men again.
Yeah.
And that's why they're confusing thing. That's why they're creating this trans, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Right? I don't care what you are, but don't groom and indoctrinate and create this social contagion based on the fact that everyone needs to become something they're not.
Yep.
What if I told you that, you remember the Trump hotel shooter?
I do.
So this just came out today. Cassie Ventura confirms. I don't know which one this is. Well, let me see here. This is.
But that's a good story to talk about as well with the Cassie Ventura stuff.
Yeah, confirmed the Trump hotel shooter and self-proclaimed Diddy sex slave, who claims Diddy, Hillary Clinton, and Obama are part of a satanic cabal tried to kill Trump, was one of Diddy's sex workers. Confirmed.
Confirmed. So we now know that for a fact.
Confirmed. In court today, Cassie Ventura identified Jonathan Oddi as one of the sex workers who she was forced to engage in freak-off parties with. In 2018, Oddi went to Trump Doral in Miami with an American flag and a gun with the intention to shoot the chandelier as a warning to President Trump that Diddy, Hillary Clinton, and Barack Obama were part of a cabal trying to kill him. Oddi claims he learned a lot about Diddy and the cabal's sinister plans since he spent so much time as a sex slave at Diddy's parties and overheard many conversations. Oddi claims Diddy is part of a black Illuminati group that engages in pedophilia, animal abuse, satanic rituals, and CIA mind control programming. He also mentioned satanic rituals are conducted at the Bohemian Grove. Apollo, who was invited to the Bohemian Grove?
Joe Oltmann.
I was.
What was it, 2 years ago?
3 years ago. Twice I was invited. And I had to look it up. Now I see this and I'm like, and I didn't go. Actually, you know why I didn't go? Because I came back here and got on the show and I was like, hey, what's really weird is I just got asked if they wanted to go to the Bohemian Grove. And people were like, wait, what?
You should have gone and been a whistleblower. You should have gone and exposed what was happening there.
But it shows you how much I didn't know. Like getting involved in all of this stuff having to do with politics, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for this? I'm not done yet. Oddi insisted in 2018 that the cabal had an agenda to kill Trump and that an assassination attempt was coming. Last week, the Daily Mail confirmed. Now, I want you to understand what we just said. It says in here, it literally says in here that the CIA is involved with Diddy.
Yep.
He's going to trial. What do you think happens in this trial? I'm going to predict it.
That he gets taken out.
He's not going to be. He's either got taken out or he's going to be found not guilty.
Possibly Cassie as well. But the thing with this is this is so much deeper because.
Ready?
Yeah.
Daily Mail confirms that Diddy signed an NDA with Oddi for $5 million in exchange for his silence.
Because so many more people are involved. That's why it's deeper. They're going to have to take out a lot of people in order to cover up the CIA's involvement with this.
But the CIA is involved in stealing the sovereignty of nearly every nation, Matt. All the nations, then the nation collapses. President Trump said it when he was in Saudi Arabia.
Yep. Yeah, he called it out, which was brave of Trump to do. The thing with Trump right now is he's walking the line of becoming the next JFK.
He is walking the line. That's why he didn't drink that water.
Yeah.
How much do you think that he actually gets things checked and double checked before he engages with it?
Oh, absolutely.
Makes other people drink out of the same cup before he drinks out of it?
I don't know if he'd be okay with that. He's a little OCD about that, but he would at the very least have it poured into another glass, whatever it is, and then have him drink from that. He would want his own glass, but for sure he's having people test it, and he's being extra cautious with what he eats, what he does, and also especially now with after the assassination attempts that we've already seen, with having no visible line of sight with access for someone to take him out. Those two things he's absolutely on top of right now, and he should be. He needs to be. There's going to be more attempts. I predict right now, by the end of his term, there will be at least 5 more attempts. At least.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to step away from Diddy for a minute. We're not going to have any more Diddy conversations, but we are going to talk about what's happening overseas, right? What's happening in South Africa. We have white farmers that are coming here under what can only be considered genocide, and that there are people in this country who are talking about these people and saying, he wants them here because they're racist. 8,000 farmers because they're racist. I'm going to play a video related to that. It's big. When we come right back. We'll be right back. In every thread, in every stitch, Honor-Bound USA weaves the fabric of the American spirit. It's not just apparel, it's a testament to God, family, and country. At Honor-Bound USA, we're a family of patriots who put our faith, family, and America first. When you visit our website, you'll find a line of products that embody our commitment to pray, stand, speak, and act. As the official site for the Untamed podcast, all of our products proclaim speaking the truth with courage. We also have the powerful documentary from Professor David Clements, Let My People Go. Identify yourself as one of the few who are willing to stand for what they believe in. Join the Honor-Bound USA family today. Wear it as a badge of honor, commitment to the values that shape us, and a pledge to the bright future we will build together. Because when you're honor-bound, you're not just wearing a brand, you're embodying a lifestyle.
Gabe! Dude, Gabe, something's in the dumpster.
Whoa, what is that for?
Something's in the dumpster, man.
Well, let's use the burner. We don't want to wake the neighbors. Freeze! Stop resisting!
Stop resisting!
If you're looking for a less than lethal option for self-defense or keeping pests out of your dumpster, then check out Byrna at DCF Guns. Visit us at our 3 locations in Castle Rock or Colorado Springs, or visit us online at dcfguns.com.
Come join the DCF family today, where we keep the range hot and the deals hotter.
It was around 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and I received an email from PayPal.
it showed in this email that there was a debit in my PayPal account that was going to be taken out. I don't remember following the link in the email even. I think I went straight to the PayPal account, and that pending debit was there. And it was for about $1,000, I believe, so it was a lot of money. So I called the phone number on that email. And it kind of, the way this guy was talking, I didn't even question what he was saying. And I've worked with computers for the past 40 years. And he just kept convincing me, and he was a legitimate person that was going to fix my computer, and I had faith in him that he was doing his job. I got in the car and I drove, and I was just thinking, this isn't right. I've given this guy enough money to buy like 2 computers. So I came home and I just thought about it some more, and I called my wife had come home. I was by myself. I had to fix the computer, fix my phone, change my bank accounts, change all of my passwords. I mean, I went through like 2 weeks of going through everything I owned, changing everything that I had because of this guy calling me for those 2 or 3 hours. How did I fall for this? And it was a very traumatic experience. I know I wasn't the only one out there that had fallen for this. Listen to yourself and think about it before you do anything, and don't just trust somebody, even though it's so believable somehow. I don't. If you feel comfortable getting a software to help you to find out, who might be that actually track these scams, do it. I mean, if they feel that's something important to you, do it.
That is what happened to me at the Diddy party that I'd never want anyone to know about. Oh, are we on? Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Just imagine. I'm just joking. I'm joking. And that is why, I feel like that would be kind of a funny segment. Every time we come back from our commercial break, we pretend like we were talking about something super secret. And then, of course, when it actually happens one time, we can just pretend like, oh, it's just one of the segments, and then no one will ever know. That's the plan. You'll never know.
The issue that I have, I know we're currently moving on to this other one. I'm trying to find this video, but it was, let me see if I can find it here real quick.
We're at 2,000 people watching. We were up even, what was it, 2,500?
Yeah.
So this is a huge show today. Everyone is tuning in. A lot of people are coming for the Diddy case update, as that is a very important developing case in the United States.
It's a huge update.
A ton of celebrities are going to be involved, and everyone wants to see these celebrities who have been pushing, degrading, and hurting our culture for so long. People want to see them go down. People want to see them in prison, and that's what we're fighting for. That's why we're covering this and exposing it and going into the truth. That's why everyone's here. Make sure to click like, by the way. We haven't been asking people to do that, but it is super helpful if you go down to the bottom and click the like button. You don't just have to click follow, you have to click like, and we will give you something in return. In exchange for clicking the like, there will be something later on in the show that we give you in return for clicking that. So go down there and click it, and help us to get this show out to more people. That's what's important, because we're going to be a force for good, but we need you to be part of the brotherhood in order to achieve that.
Okay, let me see if I can find this video. This guy was going crazy on the 8,000 farmers. And here it is. Found it.
And by the way, I'm 100% on board with the South African farmer immigration. I mean, people that fit our culture are allowed to come here. The problem is most of the immigrants that come don't. Well, that's where we draw the line.
And it's not white or black. I don't care if they're.
Well, it is a little bit, but it's not only about that.
All right, this TikToker said that the 8,000 farmers, this is the problem that we have. The same problem that we have across the board with saying that one religion is bad, or one group of people, or one race, or one religion. They're creating a war with us. Like, they're putting us in a place where we're going to go to war, right? Because simpletons, low IQ people, white liberal women. Sorry.
Like the worst of the worst.
I don't know if this video is clean, Paulo.
Oh yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be clean based on the.
We're
about to find out.
We're about to find out.
I mean, look, we already played footage from a Diddy party. We already talked about the diddling. I feel like we can't get much more dirty in this. So we might as well just. And we're already going to get copy striked for the.
No, I don't think we will.
Maybe not.
I don't think we will. It's not mainstream.
And Rumble is not as strict about it either. So we may get lucky. We may get away with it here.
Okay. Let's play it. Just so you know, I have not. I've listened to it because it was so flamboyant. But this is a TikToker. By the way, TikTok did not ban this person for doing this. Let's put it up.
That's allowed.
I need y'all to realize what Trump just did. He brought 8,000 white people out here from South Africa. Not because they need refuge. Not because they need asylum. It's because he knows these 8,000 white South African motherfuckers are racist. He knows they finna come over here and they're gonna be blatantly racist thinking that they still in South Africa. But these 8,000 racist motherfuckers is gonna find out the hard way. They're gonna fuck around and find out. You can't talk that shit over here on our soil. So what's gonna happen is that these people are gonna start getting their ass whooped because they think it's okay to talk to us any old kind of way like they did out there in South Africa. Then we start lumping motherfuckers up because they don't know how to talk to black people in America. Oh, here comes another executive order. Here comes another executive order to protect white people, just like they do Asians, just like they do the Jewish. Watch what I tell you. All these racist white South Africans that were brought here to America are going to be talking their shit. A lot of them going to get lumped up. Then the news going to spread. Oh my God, black people are hurting South Africans. This has to be racist. Executive order. I dare a black person to put their hands on another white person. It'll be considered a hate crime. Just watch. This is exactly what's happening. Remember, he wants chaos. This is how you create chaos.
Well,
okay. Let me just tell you what you just watched.
Tell me.
You watched a guy that has a thorn in his side that's infected.
Yep.
So somebody walked up to him and said, hey, it's white people. It's Trump. The Trump is the reason why you're not successful. Trump is the reason why you don't have a good job. Trump is the reason. Trump is the reason. Trump is the reason. Trump is the reason. People like Brian Krappenstein.
And Ed Krappenstein.
And Ed Krappenstein.
Yeah. Both the Krappensteins.
They started listening to these and he's not wrong about chaos. He's just wrong about where the chaos comes from.
Yep.
He's wrong about the fact that it's President Trump that's seeking chaos. President Trump literally walked over to the Middle East and said, I will kick all your asses if you don't sit down at this table and start getting along. I'll stop selling you milk. That's in essence what he did.
Pretty much. And by the way, one thing to keep in mind, and I'm going to say this very clearly, and I mean every single word that I'm saying, and I don't care about the consequences, but I'm going to say this because it's true. Every single person thinks about race to some degree when it comes to decisions they make. Every single person. Now, it's not okay to look at someone and say, I'm going to hate this person solely because of their race. But it is okay to say, I want to try to be in a community where people are more similar to me. That's okay to do. And everyone does it. If you go on bestneighborhood.org, for example, you can literally search it based on racial demographics for where you want to live. And that's one thing that people are afraid to say, especially white people are afraid to say it. Black people are not afraid to say it. Jewish people aren't afraid to say it. Hispanic people aren't afraid to say it. And I think we need to get to a place where white people aren't afraid to say it either. Otherwise, white people are going to be victimized at a higher level because we're considered weak. And so that's, I mean, every word I just said, I'm not afraid to say it. And it's true. And I will continue to talk about that because of the fact that it's true. Whether it offends people, whether I'm going to get canceled for it, I don't really care. That's the truth. And so you could even argue that there's a spectrum of racism. Some people fall low on it, some people are high on it, but it just depends. And some of the most racist people actually are against white people. That's one of the worst thorns in society today is people like that man on the screen who hate white people. And especially in a country that's predominantly white, that is especially bad. It is more bad if someone is racist in America in that way than anything else, because that is what has caused some institutional problems. That's what made it so that if your daughter tries to apply for college or your son, they're not going to have as high of a chance based on the color of their skin. If they want to work for Google or one of the top companies based on the color of their skin, based on the fact that they're straight, they're not going to be able to get that job, whereas someone else will, even though they're more qualified and they deserve it. And that is unacceptable. Also in Hollywood, TV shows and movies, the same things where they have pushed anti-whiteness, they have pushed anti-fatherhoodness, they've made men look as weak as possible, and they've tried to brainwash people subtly over time into seeing themselves differently. When you talk about weak men, that's part of it. When you talk about people not standing up based on lines of race, religion, whatever it is, it's refreshing, by the way, to see the Catholic Pope, who has now come in and is saying very unbelievably pro-Christian things. The last Pope didn't do that. He's saying things like, we're God's chosen people. He's saying things like Christians deserve, he literally said, by the way, Christians deserve their own homeland. He said, if Christians are being prosecuted within their own homelands, then that needs to be called out and they need to have a place of refuge. Specifically, in this case, referring to some of the stuff that's happening in Africa, where Christians are being killed, and also in the Middle East, where Christians are being killed. He is referring to that. He's not talking about what's happening in Gaza or Israel. He's not mentioned that at all yet. He is talking about Christians. And so to have a leader like that, I cannot overstate how wrong I was to judge him too soon, at least so far. Maybe I'll be wrong again to now judge him in a positive way. But so far, he has been a bastion of hope, a bastion of truth, and he has done a great job defending Christianity and showing the priority, which should be that. It's a beautiful thing. It really is awesome to see what the Pope's been doing, and in combination with white people no longer being afraid to say that we have preferences sometimes too. You're allowed to say that. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're allowed to have preferences. You're allowed to think about race sometimes, and you're allowed to make decisions that like, I don't want to live in a neighborhood that's a ghetto. That's okay, obviously. And everyone already does it, but let's say it. Let's not just do it. Let's say it too, because then if we're saying it, we're not going to have the other racism that white people have allowed to go against us for so long. And then we're not going to have our countries being destroyed and replaced by people who hate us in many cases, like what we saw in that video where the Muslim man presumably was punching the baby. We don't want that. And we have to say these things and stand up, whether it's uncomfortable or not. And it will stop being uncomfortable over time the more we say it. And I know, Joe, you may push back on me a little bit on that, or maybe you agree. But
so let me just tell you, I don't disagree about the Pope. You said a lot, so I wanted to
say
listen.
A lot. Yeah.
So I'm gonna compartmentalize it. Noel Bray said, "I have a black brother who isn't my direct blood relative who lived with my family for years. I have black brothers and sisters.
Yep.
So I have a very mixed family, and I love my brothers and sisters more than air. And I lost one of them. I lost my brother to police violence.
Yep.
They murdered my brother, and then they covered it up, and then they slandered him as they were covering it up.
Which is disgusting.
So I agree with you. No, I agree with you fully. And he is, my problem is that those who live together, like I don't see race the same way that you see race.
That's right.
Right?
Well, maybe. Well, I think we mostly see it the same way. And I could be like, oh, well, I have these friends who are black and these people, and I could be like, oh, and this specific thing, but everyone already knows that. No one actually thinks I'm out there hating. So I don't even feel the need to defend
Dom
myself.
Locher is a good friend of yours, right? And he's a great guy.
Yeah, and I could say all that stuff, but it just looks weak and pathetic to try to be.
You don't have to.
Obviously, if you know anything about me, you know that already. I don't need to say it. I don't need to defend myself. Those are my opinions. And you know that it doesn't make me a certain way because the media may claim that if they see this and decide to write an article on it. Who cares, right? That's my thoughts on it.
So the issue that I think you bring up that we should address, and it's not a part of this so much as what's happening in South Africa, is that you're listening to response from people. It's because people are saying to themselves, okay, I'm against anybody that generalizes race.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to admit that that's what they've done against white people.
Exactly.
They've generalized that the success and the things that you have is because of white privilege.
Yes.
So all the work that you put into anything that you do gets thrown out the door. It gets thrown out the door. And if you're black and you do really well, you're an Uncle Tom. So success becomes the metric by which they want to measure race. Well, more white people are successful. We have a civilized society. We're not out there trying to chop people up on the streets. We're not shooting each other. We're not doing things that are what you consider animalistic. holistically. And then when black people don't do those things and they're civilized, Byron Donalds, probably one of the smartest guys out there, at least got 150, 160 IQ. The guy's super smart.
Yeah.
Right? When he does it, Uncle Tom, Ben Carson, a surgeon, not just a surgeon, one of the best surgeons out there. Uncle Tom, everyone's Uncle Tom. It's Uncle. We have created an environment where we have allowed ourselves to get beaten over the head with race.
Yep.
So what you said there is absolutely true. Pushing back, absolutely true. But I think we have to do it holistically and look at it from the perspective that there are plenty of black people that feel the same way you do. There are plenty of white people that do.
We also sometimes have to go a little bit beyond the line. I use the word Overton window frequently because I think it's an important term, it's an important framework. Yeah, so if we just go at the line of where we're supposed to be, that doesn't exactly move it as far. We need to move it far enough so then the line of where it's supposed to be is now the new normal rather than the extreme. So it's it's just something interesting to think about. And I hate how every time we talk about race, we have to be like, oh, and this and this and this, and we have to try to defend it.
You don't have to defend it.
Yeah, I mean,
people can take whatever they want from it.
Like when obviously when you're picking a home for your family, you look at options, and you can go based on crime statistics, you can go based on the schools, but generally speaking, almost every single time those overlap directly with race. And so when you're doing that, you're going to most likely choose, if you have the ability to, an area that has more white people in your state than an area that has less white people. That's typically what happens. And anyone who says otherwise is either lying or trying to appease the quote unquote masters. That's it's just the truth. And like if people are offended by that, I just don't care. Like, obviously don't hate people, don't treat people differently based on their race. But at the same time, you do have to sometimes make generalizations if you want your family to be protected. That's the truth.
I agree. Should we talk about the South Africans?
We shall. Let's watch the video. We have a video of a very emotionally happy video, I think. It makes me feel good watching this in a way that I don't feel most of the time when we see immigrants coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, play that. Yeah, so you can see there the American flags. There's some good looking people there. Happy, in shape for the most part. Have a bunch of kids, family oriented, and do you see all the South African flags there? Look at all the South African flags. Clearly,
there aren't any.
You don't. That's not the South African. I'm pretty sure that's a South African flag. It looks like the South African flag to me. No, there's not. They're American flags. That's the point. These people are coming here and saying, we're no longer South African. We're embracing Americanism fully. Whereas a lot of people from Mexico, they still have the Mexican flag as they're walking across. They go protest and they're holding the Mexican flag. See, this is what we want. When it comes to immigration, that is it. They're part of our culture. They care about the same things we do. They have the family values that we want to see. They like innovation. And they're holding the American flag. They're having families. Like, what is wrong with that? Why can't we have more immigration that looks like that? Why can't we? And the answer is we can, and we should. And in this case, they have to pretend like, I mean, it is true that in South Africa they're getting, but even if these people weren't getting victimized in South Africa, I would still want them to come because they fit with our culture.
I was in Cape Town.
Yeah,
I was there 30 minutes. Maybe 45.
It's not a long time.
I walked outside and I had to go get a car. Mm-hmm. And if you know anything about the airport there, it's kind of a mess. And I get about, we were in town, and it might have been 2 minutes after I got out of the car. And the guy walks up with a gun and says, "Give me your money." I started laughing. And so he opened up his hand, and I just started loading stuff up on his hand. I had money on me, but not. You have two sets of cash.
It's a strange robbery,
right? And so then, but I handed my passport was in my pocket, so I handed him a pass. He said, I'm giving him all the stuff, and then I'm like pushing stuff around. I grabbed my passport, like, you don't need that, and then I had a little USB drive, and I was like, yeah, and you don't need that either. And I was like, okay, all right. And the guy looked at me like, what? And I just went to walk away, like the transaction was done.
Yeah.
Now most of the time, you end up dead. right?
Being dead isn't.
But
fun.
I was like, all right, just take my money, no problem. That's good. But you're not going to take this. You're not going to take this. It totally threw him off.
Yeah.
But in 50, 60, 70% of the circumstances, you're killed on the spot.
It's
And
disgusting.
we had a video
It's,
on
it's
here.
racial you're referring to. So the black guy who did this.
Yeah.
Okay, and he did it because you were white. Do you think?
Well, it's an
'Cause you're a
apartheid
foreigner.
state,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I mean, there's robberies that happen every day. It's probably one of the most unsafe places. And it's like South Side of Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, we literally have footage we'll play in a bit here of them chanting "kill the white farmer," which is used as the term "boer," so it doesn't sound as bad, but that's what they're referring to. They're literally chanting "kill the white farmer." But yeah, that is smart. We need to have tips from Joel Oltmann on how to get robbed.
Well, don't listen to me because I've been stuck in a chair and threatened to cut my head off with a slasher.
Yeah,
Like I everything that I did in the Middle East and Africa was not actually. I should have PTSD. I don't know why. I think I'm too dumb.
it's
to
okay.
have
It's okay, Joe.
PTSD.
Don't worry. We can get you some PTSD another way if you really want some.
No, I don't. I think
No, we don't want that. It's bad. PTSD sucks. But yeah, I mean, it is smart though. While we're putting up the video, it is smart to, if you get robbed. I've thought about it. I've never been robbed actually, but I thought about this.
you've never been robbed.
Never been robbed.
Here, hold on a second.
I have had in high school. I did have a Mexican guy take my phone. So
Give me your money.
We're definitely getting banned from YouTube now. Dude, take my phone.
Can I
Yeah.
you can't do that on TV. Can't do it.
Like literally pulls out a pistol and robs me. Am I allowed to do that on TV? No, of course you're not.
Go ahead.
Joe,
Go ahead,
what else are we gonna do on TV?
Give me your money.
This video is not good. Take this down from YouTube, Paul. We're gonna get a strike. Only on Rumble.
Are they going to wreck us for that?
Take this down on YouTube right now.
Yeah, YouTube is
like,
very strict on firearm shit. YouTube's probably gonna wreck us.
What are
No,
you
no,
talking about?
they're not gonna wreck us because we're deleting it right now. Take down the stream and delete it.
No, I'm gonna take it down after we finish the live.
The YouTube AI is gonna be like, I found a gun. Delete.
Wait, but we have. I can't.
No,
come on.
don't worry, guys. It's for, and if YouTube, if you're watching, it was just a. It was
not a real gun.
It's not a real gun. It's just a prop. It's a prop.
It's not a real gun.
It's a prop gun.
It's a burner. It's a burner.
Which you can buy by the way. If you want to get a burner to protect yourself, and you can actually buy a burner on the website. So that's where can people go if they want? If you want to buy a burner right now, where can you go?
DCF Guns.
If you go to dcfguns.com right now, which is Joe's store that we're promoting right now, you can buy a burner. It's a little pricey, but it's worth it because if someone breaks into your house and you don't have a gun,
Listen, cheap ass, you were going to buy a
should use
burner.
that. I know.
I got to get him a burner.
I need
for
to
that.
burn that. But see, I'm worried that whenever my wife gets mad at me, I'm gonna get burned. So
Nothing wrong with it. It's not deadly.
don't tell her that.
There's some alternatives.
Like anytime,
They do suck though.
anytime I get in trouble,
Huh?
I'm getting burned.
It hurts.
Yeah, it
Dude,
does.
that
It's
tactical,
painful.
that kit with the what's it called? It's like a Evo or what we call a frog.
Yeah,
It's like a
it is.
B&T.
Yeah, you can go buy this and have it shipped to your house right now.
It is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then the one on the kinetic kit is the projectiles. They're pepper balls.
Mhm.
You just hope she doesn't shoot you in the head.
Yeah,
That might-
I'll
that's
be in
gonna hurt.
trouble. That would hurt. It actually is capable of lodging. So this is a real weapon. It's not like an airsoft
Yeah.
gun. Like and airsoft guns can hurt too if they're powerful enough, but it will lodge into the skin of a bad guy, and the pepper will then incapacitate them to some degree. So this is a serious one. It's not a gun.
Okay. Well, so it's not gonna lodge into the skin, but they hurt, and so they have the white one. So here, funny story. A friend of mine had one of these.
Put them in the
And-
freezer.
No, so he was practicing. So they have the white ones that are just kinetic, and he was practicing in his apartment, like firing at cardboard, and he didn't realize he had a pepper one in the magazine, and about cleared out his entire apartment floor.
Jeez, that stuff is strong. But people underestimate. If you've never smelled pepper spray before, which I did because there's two Mexican guys that were fighting, both of them pretty fat, which makes the story funnier. But so they were fighting in the cafeteria at my high school, and they just start like wailing on each other. And so there's police officers that stayed at the school. That was the type of school I went to. And so the police officers come up and immediately start just shooting pepper spray all over
Oh
them.
my gosh.
And one of them was actually one of my friends from the football team, which Kind of crazy. So I was hoping he was going to win the fight. I was rooting for him. He was a smart guy. I think he actually probably did win it. It got broken up a little too soon, but he did a good job. He had some good swings. But anyway,
I like
the whole
fights that get to
cafeteria.
finality.
Yeah, it's more interesting that way. But the whole cafeteria basically cleared out. Like everyone was coughing, and ironically, the Mexican guy wasn't, which I thought was really weird because like everyone else was, and he seemed like less affected by it. Maybe he's had happened to him before. He seemed less affected by it than everyone else. But that stuff is strong. Now, if you're just near it, it will make you cough. It is serious, especially if it actually gets inside of your eyes. Yeah. But anyway,
Dude, I've been pepper sprayed in my face.
By who?
It was a tactical training deal.
Okay, I didn't know you went through a tactical training deal.
And whoa,
Because you weren't in the military or a police officer, so how'd you go through a tactical training? But for the C, I joked to Joseph. He wasn't.
I would never work for the U.S. government ever in any capacity.
But we like to joke about that.
But I do own gun stores and ranges, and I have been trained.
And some of the negotiation stuff in the Middle East,
you had to be trained.
Yeah.
So let's look at what they do say. The stuff that you said about them calling them for genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a group that gathered. This is B3. Let's go ahead and play that real quick.
And this is very real stuff, by the way. A lot of people have lost their lives. It's not just a threat. This is actively being carried out.
Okay, what they were saying is death of the white people.
Yep.
And they call it a struggle chant. Let me just tell you something. This is much like the DC, having like a inner city, like a DC, or where your entire leadership is black, and yet people are still in the middle of deserts for food, for education, for opportunity, because they don't care about those people. They want to use them as pawns in order to create that racial tension because it keeps them in power, right? And you saw something happen in the transition of the kind of the freeing of South Africa to where it is today.
Yep.
And it's turned into a really, really terrible place.
And there's millions of white people there, by the way. So it's not like a small amount. And I would like to see all of them be able to have a safe refuge in the United States if they choose to. But at the same time, it is a little scary for the Romanian ones who don't choose that.
So this is a member of the parliament in South Africa and calling for the death of white people. And let me just tell you something else. It's not just the death of white people. And by the way, this guy is half white. It makes it even scarier. Let's go ahead and play this.
For each one person that is being killed by the taxi industry, we get 5 white people.
I don't know about
for
that.
every one black person,
white meaning families.
5 white people. You kill one of us, we'll kill 5 of you. We'll kill the children, we'll kill the women, we'll kill anything that we find on our way. They kill one of us, we kill how many? They kill one of us, we kill how many? They kill one of us, we kill how many whites? We kill the children, we kill the women, we kill their dogs, we kill their cats, we kill anything
Viva
that comes.
Viva rated the stream.
Viva did? What did he say? He rated the stream. Viva, what's up, baby? Can we get him on?
Yeah, jump on in. Why
What
not?
what does rated the stream mean? What is that?
It means he's commenting. Oh, it means did he have people come comment on it? Did he have people come over?
Hey, what does it mean to raid the stream? Viva raid. Viva is probably one of the coolest people you're going to find. He's an attorney out of Canada, but we brought him down here to the U.S. on the good side. Pretty amazing guy.
Viva raid. Viva raid.
Rumble raid. He sent us here. Oh,
Welcome. That's awesome. We need to rate his. We need to rate him back at some point.
Yeah, dude, he is an amazing guy.
That's awesome. Oh, look, the viewers are shooting up. This is
Viva
great.
just skeeted his audience into our stream. Thank you, Viva.
Viva,
Wow,
we
that's
love you,
awesome.
bro. We love you.
We need that.
If he wants to come on, I can give him a link.
Yeah, we'd love to have him on. You want to get Viva on?
Yeah, why don't we have him on right now?
Yeah, come
Do
on.
you have? I don't think I have his number. I'll put it in the chat. Send him a link.
And by the way, if you're watching for the first, we'll use this opportunity.
I got Viva's number. Hold on.
If you're watching
Yeah.
for the first time, every single day at 4 p.m. Eastern time, it is the second best show on Rumble after Vive. It's number 2. So it's worth tuning in. Come join in and hang out with us for an hour. Sometimes we go longer, but we have an incredible team back there of people who do so much research along with us, and we make sure we don't just have coverage of the news. We are the news to the degree we can be. And we have stories that you're not going to see anywhere else. And we're going to be honest about them. We don't censor ourselves. We're not paid by anyone. And so if you want to click subscribe, if you want to come join in, press like, whatever, you're welcome to do that. We would love to have you on the second best Rumble show.
So I got to give a shout out to Viva for another reason. He was doing a live show with John Eastman, interview with John Eastman, who was the attorney that is probably one of the best constitutional attorneys you'll have in the country. And he was asked a question whether or not I was a deep state spy or something. And John's like, no. But at least Viva put it out there because somebody was putting it in the comments. And then John responded because John Eastman, I've spent a lot of time with John, especially on and around J6. So good stuff. So thanks, Viva, for calling that out. There's another one that I think we need to talk about really quick, and I want to make sure we get through this. Not everyone's happy about what's happening with these 8,000 farmers coming in.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of them. Yeah, they're really pissed off about it. And so Scott Jennings was calling out those people. He had this to say. Let's go ahead and play it.
I mean, I do think it's not alleged discrimination that these people are facing in South Africa. I mean, the law there absolutely allows their property to be confiscated. They are subject to racial discrimination. Some have been subject to violence from some reports that I have read. I mean, we're talking about 50-something people, and the people who seem to be angriest about this today had no problem with 20 million coming here. Some of the worst people in the world coming here, including gang members and so on and so forth. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for the folks who are outraged today after what happened to this country over the last several years, over 50-something people who are clearly being discriminated against in South Africa. Well, the previous administration had priorities about who to let in, including, all kinds of folks who I would argue shouldn't be here. This administration, I guess, is going to set priorities about who and who not to let in.
But let's just be honest about what those priorities are, right? And by the way, I'm a Democrat here. I did not defend the Biden administration on immigration.
But you voted for him.
So that doesn't mean that I defended him on immigration.
You voted for a continuation of it in 2024, did you not?
I did not vote for his policies on immigration.
But you voted
you voted
to extend the immigration policies of the last administration.
No, I did not vote for that.
The point is, you're in a party that opened the borders, and I'm in a party that closed the borders, and I think the American people prefer it our way.
Well, he's closed the borders.
Scott's fun to watch.
He is, because he trolls them in such a way that he makes, and they keep him on because it brings people over that are sensible.
Yeah, I mean, and I say this in the nicest way possible. He's a very, the way he talks is he's a very punchable face in a good way. Like meaning he makes them angry. I'm sorry. I use that nicely. Like he's very good at talking in a way that makes them very angry, which is so funny to watch. Like he could tell all of them just wanted to jump across the table and punch him.
And they're sitting there with a smile on their face.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's saying this. Can't be saying this. All right. Have you ever been to a church?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't get to finish.
No.
Have you ever been to a church where they said, "Hey, we won't help you because you're white"?
Of course not.
Have you ever been to a church where it says, "Oh, we'll only"? You ever seen a pastor that comes out openly and says, we have a long-standing for social justice and we only want to help non-white people"?
Well, actually, yeah. Sometimes it's rare, but some of the denominations do kind of push that a little bit. But it's not common.
This guy said that they would not extend aid to the South Africans coming here because they're white. And it had to be here. Let me, you play it.
That's peak irony.
we can't be ourselves in the Episcopal Church and take the step of resettling white Afrikaners from South Africa. Our church has a long commitment to racial justice and reconciliation, and we have historic ties with the Anglican Church of South Africa. Desmond Tutu is a part of been a partner in this work for us. So we're just not able to take this step. It's not in line with anything that we're about.
Like,
That's a pastor. He forgot to read the Bible.
A pastor in quotes. I don't know.
But that's the same thing that we face in every faith, right? Again, the generalizations is that we have feckless cowards. I was on his Glory today doing an interview, and I was like, listen, we just got to set aside petty differences. Democrat, Republican, there are people that believe in Jesus on both sides, right? I even called out Jewish versus Jew. Dave was he was very gracious, but he was a little bit like, where's Joe going with this? And I was like, listen, we have to take back the voice that President Trump gave us.
We do.
Right. And we have to participate in that. And we haven't participated up to this point. And it's not about the 8,000 people that are in South Africa being white. Right. It has more to do with the fact that the chances of you living there's a woman just 3 weeks ago whose husband, she was brutally raped by a gang of men, and her husband was killed. Her fiance was killed. We just played that. It is a bloodbath down in South Africa, and you cannot run away from it. You cannot run away from it. So having them here I would say the same thing if we were talking about, the Uyghur people of China, right?
Sure.
I would say the same thing about any group of people that is being brutally murdered in any area. And the fact that you could have a church member stand up or church pastor stand up and say that, man, that's the devil speaking through a man that acts like he's of the cloth.
He's wearing the pastor outfit. He says he's a pastor. But if we look at that man, is he really a pastor? And the other thing is, Biden, by the way, flew in a bunch of people from Haiti in the middle of the night without telling people, for the most part, without making it publicized. And he did that because of the culture shift. By the way, Haiti is one of the places that has a culture that is the least compatible with the United States overall. Doesn't mean you can't find people from Haiti that are awesome or that we like, but it means overall, which place is the least compatible? It would be Haiti. And if you look at one of the places that would be the most compatible, it would be some of these communities in South Africa. So it's like the exact opposite. One is going to come, and if they're your neighbors, you're going to be happy with that. And one's going to come, and if they're your neighbors, they're probably going to be disrespectful to you because they don't care about our culture. So it's such a clear divide that we can see between what the Biden administration and the Democrats are trying to do, which is taking a bunch of people who are incompatible with our culture, versus what the Trump administration wants to do, which is stop the incompatible culture shift and only allow people who are either really truly being victimized, but also importantly, fit with our culture. It has to be both.
You're absolutely right. Sorry, I was laughing not at you or what you were saying. I was laughing.
I didn't even notice. What were you laughing at?
Because Pianon says Joe the pastor is a agate. I can say that. We're bringing back all sorts of words. Retard, agate. Say agate. I said
yeah.
agate.
We need to check. We need to check on any altar boys within his.
Oh my gosh, it's pretty crazy.
I'm sorry. That's a bad thing to say, but it's true. It's true. A lot of these woke pastors are doing evil things behind the scenes. That's a real thing. I guess I sounded like a joke when I just said that, but at the same time, there are really people being victimized, and oftentimes it's associated with these fake pastors who claim to be close to God, but are really using their position to abuse and to hurt. And that it's evil. It sucks, and it happens way, way too much.
Yeah, no question, no question. Let's look at something else here. Let's talk about our leadership for a minute, can we?
What leadership? We have leadership? I didn't even know that.
Kind of have leadership. I want to talk about this because I think it's important. Our leaders don't care about us. They care about their job. They care about the status quo. They had an all-night House meeting. Cameras were on. Now, they don't stay in session very long. They don't have to be there very much. But this happened, and here's Debbie Dingle. This is why we should have term limits. Now, they're not going to term limit themselves because why would they take away their own power?
Right.
Their ability to go making $160,000 a year and turn that into a $300 million stash when their husband was a landscaper.
Yeah, whether it's the under the table deals that they're making or the under the table things that Bill Clinton was doing, it's bad.
Well, here's the first one that fell asleep.
Okay, go.
Here's Dingle asleep. She's salty.
She's out.
Kind of look like Biden.
So funny.
But let's turnabout's fair play. Democrats and Republicans both. You also had Congressman Moore from Utah who fell asleep. Let's play it.
Fuck no. Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore.
Oh my God.
Mr. Moore, no.
No more.
It's funny. This is really funny, isn't it?
Miss Van Dyne.
And to be fair, they are there for like 36 hours straight. So I mean, I'm not as mad
there
as,
is no
as
fair.
you
No,
are. I mean, I'm
Miss
more
Van
mad
Dyne.
at all the terrible policies they're putting forth and how
Mr.
they're destroying
Feenstra.
our country than I am at that. Like if our politicians were great politicians who cared about us and did the right thing and didn't go trillions of dollars into debt and they fell asleep sometimes, I wouldn't care. We only care about this because of how bad of a job they're doing otherwise. And now we're just like, all right, well, screw you for doing that too.
How many bills? How many bills did they put through so far? The worst in the history of a session.
The worst.
And they have done nothing about election fraud. President Trump is doing things by executive action because both sides are ineffective in what they're doing. They're not just ineffective, they're slow walking it the same way they did in 2017 when President Trump said, here's our mandate from the American people.
I mean, if they start doing a good job and putting forth bills that actually matter, I will personally go there and I will buy beds for them to sleep in if they're actually doing a good job. But that's the thing. They're not going to do a good job. And so therefore, I mean, at the least you can do if you're already going to screw over our country is stay awake. It's like that's the level we're at right now. Like there's no more room for anything else when you're already doing such a bad job. You can't even sneeze or look the wrong way if at this point. Like we're at the end of the line. Like these people are destroying us from the inside, and we're tired of it. It's just like they're tired of it as well, clearly.
Okay,
In
so
a different way.
we're going to do roll call a little more. We had some more sleepers.
Okay.
Here's Jan Alphabet, who fell asleep from Illinois. Let's play it.
Offering contraceptive care would have to increase their capacity to provide these services by 56%, or an additional 1 million contraceptive clients. Health department sites offering contraceptive care would have to increase their capacity to provide the services by 28%, or 344,000 contraceptive clients, and so on. And so what the Guttmacher Institute found in its survey is that asking federal qualified health centers
And how about Adam Schiff?
Mr. Pencil Neck.
Yeah.
We have footage of that too, don't we?
He's sleeping too. Someone should put foam in his mouth. Go ahead, play it.
Yeah, draw a couple.
Former FBI
orifices.
Director Wray's comments on 60 Minutes regarding China, sleeper cells within our own country, infiltrating our water systems, our natural gas lines, telecommunications.
He actually looks like a pencil.
A very
Oh, sorry, I had to add to the end of that. You didn't hear it.
Oh, was my mic cut off?
No, you didn't hear what I said.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
I'm glad because it was gotten banned again from YouTube.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right, and so they don't care about us, and it's not this. It's not just the sleeping, the disrespect and sleeping. I can even deal with that.
Yeah, we could deal with that if they did a good job. This is just a further example of their disrespect to us. That's all it is.
Tillerson came out and said that he was against lowering prices on pharma. He's supposed to be on our side. Adam Schiff and Pelosi and all these others have now said that they're banding together to impeach President Trump on the floor of the House.
Yep.
That is actually happening right now. If we look at some of the things that are happening in Washington, D.C. related to the bench, it's not just Bossberg that's a problem. You have other federal judges that are stepping in the way of us getting things done as a nation to kind of restore order. Here's my issue. We'll just wrap it up. We are getting something, but not enough.
Not even close.
The judge who was helping illegal aliens evade arrest just got indicted by a grand jury. This is a grand jury indictment.
She literally helped him out of the courthouse on purpose. Like this is a level of disrespect to the law that we haven't even seen prosecuted hardly ever. And yet here it is happening, and finally someone's getting prosecuted for it.
And this is in Wisconsin, which means you're going to find out how that jury is going to see this person holistically and what the people in not just that state, but around the country are going to feel about it. This is going to be a very controversial case.
Yep.
So then I want to finish up with this, right? Because I got to run. And we're over again. But I want to finish up with this.
And we will have Vive come on if he's available. So we're trying to make that happen. But we may have him on next show.
We'll have him back on. I just want to say thank you to the people that did come over and Viva. And for, he's a good dude.
Yes.
He's a really good dude. Okay. So last thing that I'll say is that, we're a little bit disenfranchised as people. We're disenfranchised with the things that we've actually said and done. And so every now and then, every 3 or 4 weeks, I'll actually write a letter to the president. And I put it up on X. And this has to do with election fraud, which, Matt, I've been talking about election fraud for 5 years. There are system architects. There's Draza. There's Sean Smith. There's Ed Solomon, who we had just had on the show. There are a number of, Jeff O'Donnell, I'll give him a shout out, even though I think that he's crazy for even thinking that Dennis Montgomery is actually a legitimate person. He's not. There are a lot of experts, a lot of really good people out there that are doing great work. And so I wrote this because we have proof. We have proof all over the nation. But we did that thing on Arapahoe County, Matt. And now they're trying to backtrack, and they put something up that says it was caused by an assistant professor out of Yale who got his degree in political science, went on to get a PhD in government, who's never had any sort of access to or understanding of sophisticated systems. So is looking at this from the standpoint of holistically just hovering over, but they can say, oh, he's a doctor, so he must know. He must be the authority on this, but knows nothing about code, system architecture, knows nothing. Nothing. And the lawyer and the other professor know nothing about any of that. So they're gaslighting us again. So I said this, Mr. President, we have them at hello. We had them in 2020. We watched them steal more in 2022 and again in 2024. We have the proof in Georgia, Colorado, Arizona, Florida, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada, New Mexico, and so many more. We have been sued, slandered, dragged through the mud, arrested, and imprisoned. They have lied over and over again. Every time we catch them, they smugly shrug their shoulders and make up some soup salad answer that has little to nothing to do with the facts. They have obstructed, hidden, conspired, and bullied. Sir, there is no other Donald J. Trump. There is no one with the temperament, courage, tenacity, intelligence, patience, and integrity that you have. We have you for 3.5 more years. And although I am hopeful of the groundwork you are laying, my fear is cement will not be dry and the roots not set. And they'll be ripped from the ground yet again. Who carries on after you? You spoke of the voice of the people restored and the power returned to the people. That was in January of 2017. I remember it as if it was yesterday. And yet we saw as they obstructed and defamed, impeached, and delayed. You stepped in the room filled with self-serving snakes. And when they could not do enough, as your voice grew, they used the mechanisms to steal your voice you had given back to the people. Many who said that they were with you abandoned you in the final hour. As if you already knew, they plotted the next step. Sir, you knew the elections were fraudulent. It was, in fact, too big to rig with you. Yet down ballot in nearly every state, they took what they could from the people while relenting at the reality of your victory. They used the machines and the mail-in ballots as fuel for those machines. In states where they could obstruct transparency, they did. And others, they had already sued all those that stood, slandered and defamed them with impunity, in hopes the masses would not listen. And even when they did, they had a judiciary that stood at the door and obstructed, hid, and sealed any information that would validate the reality. We are in the final hour. I say to you, as it just eclipsed 100 days in office, Tina is in prison, and some J6ers still languish in prison. They steal what they can and stand on the sidelines while taking their pound of flesh from just enough people that they think will be tolerated, a spit in your direction to goad you into action. Yet that is what I'm asking for right now. We have uncovered even more fraud, more proof of the stealing of the voice and sovereignty of the American people. There are many experts, and I know others have defamed and repeated the lies of the left and indictments of character to sully those experts. Yet those experts still stand, and the gaslighting has become a mockery to the truth.
I just retweeted this, by the way, and if you want to retweet it too, it's on Joe Oltmann's X page, which, because his band's only at 17,000, but he's growing very fast. It should. We
Dude,
need
I had
to
200.
get that up.
This is the third time.
Yeah, see, he keeps building it up. So we need to build it back up again. But go ahead, keep reading. This is very good stuff.
So tell us what to do next. You asked us to stand, and we did. You asked us to speak, and we did. You asked us to fight, and we have. And now we're asking for action to follow and the people to see where you want us to go next. Because if we do not get rid of the machines and the mail-in ballots in every state, go to in person with an ID, we stand no chance of overcoming this evil cancer that has infected the body of our nation. We stand with you, Mr. President. We need accountability and addressing the problem, not the symptoms to the problem. With respect, Joe, one of many. You know, I think a lot about where we are as a country, and right and left and Democrat and Republican and liberal and conservative. And we have this radical element on both sides of the aisle that represents these fringes. And then we have the legislatures and the judiciary and all that think that they are elite and sit above us, and that they don't have to answer to the very people that got them elected, but they didn't get them elected because they were selected. So there is no fear in their hearts that they're going to get thrown out, because more times than not, more often than not, it never becomes the case, because they have the mechanisms to steal elections. So when we talk about the racial disparity, we talk about the chaos that's created, we talk about all the things that we deal with, I want everyone to understand the fact that there is symptoms to the problems which we can address. Illegal immigration, borders being open, that is all subject to the fact of who is in different positions of power. And then we have the problem that the people that should be in positions of power never make it to that office because of the control mechanisms and the cancer by which we live our lives through. We're overtaxed, we're overworked, we're treated like peasants and slaves. And at some point, we've got to get to the place where Diddy is the one that gets the iron.
Yep.
He's the one that gets hurt.
By the way, Justin Bieber just responded to the Diddy case. People at least are saying that. He posted a video. We don't have it in, it just happened to start going viral. So he posted yesterday, but it just started going viral. And it shows him eating a slice of pizza right as Cassie Ventura takes a stand. People are alluding to the fact that he was allegedly abused by Diddy multiple times. There's footage that shows him and Diddy when he was a kid. And so he appears to be responding and celebrating and calling that out. And he's used pizza as a symbol in his songs and his music to call out the pedophilia in the music industry and in Hollywood. And he seems to be doing that right now, subtly taking a stance and celebrating that finally justice may be about. It hasn't happened yet, but it may be about to happen.
I think that there are great things happening.
Yeah.
There are great things happening. And we're going to get to a place where people have a voice. And that's all we care about, is that as we speak about things here and about things, truth is hard to swallow. You may not like what it is, and we might put a little humor in it. You might not like that. You might like it. The reality of it is, at the end of the day, we want accountability and we want consequences for those that have done harm. And we want real consequences. We want men to be men, women to be women. And for us to move to a place where there's no grooming or indoctrination of our children, that people are able to think for themselves. And if we get there, man, we'll be in great shape.
Right. And if you don't subscribe, we will send Diddy to your house.
All right. You gonna pray us out?
I will. But you can't transition from that joke into we have to have a little buffer. Like,
Lord,
I'm sorry.
Forgive him.
I'm sorry.
We pray
I don't. Hopefully it was funny enough to be worth. But yes, I'm gonna go ahead and pray us out. Again, I'm truly thankful for everyone who's tuning in. It's wonderful to have this opportunity to be able to come on here, and Joe and I both really love it and appreciate it, and we like having this voice and want to use it for good as much as we can, and also for offensive, funny jokes as well.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna go ahead and start the prayer. Dear Lord, please help every victim in this case, all the women and men and children who have been hurt and who are continuing to be hurt. Help them to find peace. Help them to find justice as we see some of the most evil people on earth, people who have strayed so far away from you. Help them to find a path back. Help them to not only have to have consequences for what happened, but also to find a way that we grow as a society from this, that we get better, and that we allow Christianity and the truth and the way towards you to be the focus of our lives. Amen.
Amen. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Remember, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more. In whatever radio station you're hearing us on, if you hear it on the radio station, send us the information so we can just track that. It's on all sorts of radio stations around the country, and we just want to make sure we can keep track of it.
Yep. And if you don't have a specific, I have to go quick before you end it and we go to the music. If you don't have a specific person to send it to, the link, you can also just go to Joe's page or my page and retweet it as a way to share. If you connect with us and you want to see this message get out to more people, which hopefully you do because it's important, whether you're sitting on the toilet, sitting in bed, wherever you are, click share and help it to grow.
Absolutely. God bless you all.
God bless.